Over the past week, the Wardens have faced significant setbacks on the eastern front. The Colonials have captured all of Morgan's Crossing, all of Clanshead Valley, and half of Viper's Pit. 18 days into War 120, the score stands at Colonials 27 and Wardens 12, leaving the Colonials only 4 victory points away from securing the war. Despite the grim outlook for the Wardens, this fight is far from over. One of the reasons I love playing as a Warden is their incredible resilience and comeback spirit. We've seen it before. Take War 93 for instance, where the Colonials were just 2 points away from victory, yet the Wardens rallied and pushed them back to claim the win. This time is no different. The Wardens refused to go down without a fight. When I logged in, I noticed we were making a push to reclaim Clanshead. The Colonials controlled every territory in the region, but we were determined to get back in. Upon reaching the front lines, I saw a strong Warden presence, with tanks and infantry steadily pushing the Colonials back toward Fort Windham. Thanks to our recent advancement in medium tank research, we finally had the firepower to hold our ground and even mount a counteroffensive. As a frontline engineer this war, I immediately got to work. At dawn, our forces had reached the outskirts of Windham. The Colonials' defenses were crumbling, with only a handful of tanks and infantry left to protect their relic base.
Tanks destroy the anti-tank pillbox.
Shoot that rifle garrison tank, please. Someone's dead.
Slowly but surely, we dismantled their remaining defenses and advanced to the relic base itself.
Grenade! Let me explode that motherfucker! I got it!
Go, 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 go.
Eventually, we overran it, forcing the Colonials to retreat toward their nearest bunker base. Now this is where I normally end my videos. I usually like to end on a high note of victory, but this time was different. We still had a lot of work that needed to be done. With the base secured, I grabbed a construction vehicle and began rebuilding the relic base. Clanshead, and specifically Fort Windham, was near the logistical town of the Great Warden Dam, where I have been doing all of my logistics work this war. This made it very easy for us to supply our new relic base with plenty of BMATs to rebuild the defensive structures. A small group of us worked through the night to rebuild defenses, fill in craters, and repair vehicles returning from the front. In Foxhole, you should always focus on building up your gains. If you don't see anyone building, then it's time for you to take out your hammer. I swear that once players notice that you are building by yourself, they will over time start to join in. I don't know if this is because they feel pity for me, or if they just need a break from the front. Unfortunately, during the night, our front had started to collapse and the Colonials were starting to push back. They added artillery to their forces and started to rain shells down on us. We scrambled to repair our defenses while trapped inside the base, unsure if we'd last till morning. But as the sun came up, more Warden tanks joined the front, allowing us to push out and regain momentum. I had noticed on the map towards the edge of the region that we had a spot with no intel. If our tanks wanted to move forward safely, then it was my job as a frontline engineer to build a watchtower, to give us intel if any Colonials were trying to sneak around. This is something I love about being a frontline engineer. It's not just about building bunker bases and other defensive structures. It's also about knowing what other kind of structures are needed on the battlefield. Our tanks and infantry slowly pushed up the road, chipping away at the Colonial tank line and infantry. While they were doing that, I continued upgrading defenses and preparing for any potential setbacks. But our front line continued to advance.
Just point click the Grenade!
Go, man! Death to the museum invader! Get him, boys, get him, boys.
Take me, best.
Use the smoke, use the smoke. Thanks, boys.
We were able to take out their forward bunker base, pushing them back to the crossroads further up the road. Because that was such a long run for our soldiers from Fort Windham, I took it upon myself to go build a new forward bunker for our troops to spawn at. We worked all throughout the day on building this bunker, and by night we finished. All right, let's get this place built up. Once again, it was our job as frontline engineers to build up all the defenses around this bunker as well. Our tanks would need a safe place to fall back to.
Help.
Yeah, and I want it to be 100% big dog. Get to it.
I hear you. That's cash money, man. That's cash money.
Yes, sir, skis. See, you get it.
As night fell, an artillery crew joined us, providing much-needed firepower to assault the colonial base at the crossroads. If I was a better builder, I would have thought about building some pits for the artillery guns. Maybe next time. Our tanks started to fall back to the base during the night, damaged and worn down. I stopped building and took time to make sure that they were all repaired and ready for another fight. As day came, our tanks were still at a stalemate up the road. The Colonials had a strong base in this location, with many anti-tank emplacement guns guarding the entrance. Our tank line would not be cracking through that anytime soon. While the tanks were stuck on the road, our infantry was able to spot a weakness in the colonial defenses. On the south side of their base, there were no emplacement guns and it would be much easier for us to destroy. We let our tank lines know that we should shift the battle over to that side. As our tanks got into position, we were able to move up closer to the base and start to chip away at the defenses. Unfortunately, there was no way for me to sneak around to conduct any partisan work this time around. I joined my fellow Wardens in the trenches and pushed with them towards the base. The Colonials quickly adapted to our attack on the southwest side and redeployed all of their armor to repel us. We were unable to hold on to this position, and we were forced to retreat and regroup at the forward bunker. Back at the base, we continued to build up even more defenses. Although we didn't take another base from the Colonials, we would hold on to the gains that we did make. However, that wouldn't last long. 3 to a piece, 3 to a piece. Spread out if you need to, 3 to a piece. The night brought more artillery fire. They were able to land almost every shot and destroyed our bunker quickly along with the rest of our defenses. Back at Windham, our BMAT supplies were running low, so I made a quick logistics run to Howell County Seaport. This was a quick and easy logi run that probably took me 5 to 7 minutes to complete. By the time I came back, the colonial artillery had moved up and had started raining shells down on our relic base. With our fresh new supply of BMATs, I got to work right away to repair our defenses. Get out and repair the defenses. Repair the defenses. While this was going on, a massive Warden force was pushing into Westgate. This is exactly what we needed to see to boost our morale. But for us back on the other side of the map, things were not looking too great. Shells continued to hit our bunker and relic base. Guys, repair the relic in the bunker, please.
Send
Go to the
people,
relic and just repair it from the
repair.
outside. Go grab BMATs at the relic and repair it from the outside. Go grab BMATs from the relic and repair it from the outside. We spent the entire night repairing. Our bunker base would eventually get destroyed, leaving us with no AI defenses.
I installed this game because of your that video.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear.
Wait, Robert!
Yeah,
Robert! I'm taking a picture.
I need a CV.
Construction.
You got me into this game.
Save us, Robert, please.
I'm trying. That's great to hear, Firelord. I need a CV so I can rebuild the bunker. Rebuild the defenses. As dawn broke, our tank numbers increased, but they remained confined to the relic base, hesitant to push forward. We builders worked hard to repair both the structures and the tanks while enduring the relentless artillery fire. When the shelling finally ceased, we seized the opportunity to rebuild our bunker base. However, that breath was short-lived. As night fell, the colonial artillery resumed its assault on our base. One particular devastating shell left a massive crater in front of the relic base. This is the type of crater that you need to dig out as fast as possible. If you don't, it will slow the flow of your infantry running to the front line. As I mentioned in my previous video, my job as a frontline engineer is to ensure our infantry and tanks have the fastest and safest paths possible. Throughout the night, I focused on filling craters along the road outside of Fort Windham, ensuring an escape route for our tank line if needed. While digging, we received intel that the Wardens in Westgate had captured the gallows and were advancing toward Holdfast. Though we weren't making much progress in Clanshead, the successes on the western front were a welcome boost to our morale once again. As the sun rose on a new day, the situation remained unchanged. We held our position just outside of Fort Windham, while the Colonials maintained theirs at their base near the crossroads. Neither side showed any sign of yielding an inch. Overall, I will count this battle as a victory, as we were able to reclaim reclaim Fort Windham and establish a foothold within Clanshead. If we wouldn't have made that push, the Colonials could very well be pushing into Howell County, one of our major logistics hubs. Again, this war is not over yet. The Colonials still need at least 4 victory points. I would say we still have at least another week of this war. I want to take a brief moment to remind you all that if you have stories from War 120, make sure to send them to me in my Discord. It would be fun to hear about them and potentially add them to the War 120 summary video. I'll make sure to leave a link to my Discord in the description below. GG's to the Wardens and Colonials that fought in this battle. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to subscribe for more Foxhole content. I'll see you out on the battlefield. Cheers.